My name is Boots Riley. I'm from a rap group called the Coup, and I'm here just to support the workers, fast food workers, not just here but all over the country, in their fight for a better wage and better working conditions. It's also a fight that I think affects so many other things. Right now, when they look at low-income communities, especially communities of color, there's a lot of talk about the violence that goes on and all that sort of stuff. But we know that that violence is just an outgrowth of the regulation of illegal economies. We could make the fast food companies pay enough for people to have a living wage, and that would actually be more than people make selling dope, and that would cut down most of the violence that happens out in the streets, which is just people fighting over money. McDonald's makes billions of dollars per year, and the way they're able to make all that money is because they don't pay people anything, and so they can still make billions by paying people a wage that they can live on and survive on.
Well, young people, young black kids, black youth, the Oscar Grants of the world, it seems like they're having a struggle to survive in America. Is this the reason these companies aren't paying decent wages?
Well, yeah. The reason is that under this system, first of all, there's only going to be a few jobs. There's not going to be enough jobs, but also on top of that, the jobs that exist are making a lot of money and paying very low wages. So people are having to hustle to survive. And by hustle, I mean do things that aren't considered legal and put them at risk for being locked up or having to deal with other violent problems. And these businesses are in the community. They can't move to Mexico. They can't run from us. They can't move to China. They can't run. We can make them pay more. And the only way that we're going to be able to do it, though, is through militant strikes just like this. They're not going to give it up easily. And the only way that those strikes are going to really be effective is if we ignore the Taft-Hartley laws and have solidarity strikes, which make the corporate owners have to rework the deal with the franchises.
Well, President Obama says he's concerned about inequality. Do you think that the government, the U.S. government, is really interested in concerns of these workers here today?
I think they're concerned with people voting for them and saying whatever they think makes people not do this. So, and that's what they're concerned with. So if saying that they're concerned with inequality makes people not strike and wait and hope for them to do something, then they'll say it. The system is in itself a war on working people. The system in itself, and by working people I'm not excluding unemployed people. There's a war on the working class. It's called exploitation. The only way that there's all this wealth is that there's people not getting paid what they're worth. And that is
capitalism?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the system inherent in the system itself. I don't think anger changes the situation. I think optimism changes the situation, and optimism that's sprouts from people seeing that they have a way to have power. This is not anger. Anger ends up being frustration. This is determination. And that determination only comes from an analysis that says that things are not all over with. Things are not just doom and gloom. That the workers have the power. And that's optimism. That's not anger. I think my music is a reflection of my ideas, and I think my ideas have a lot to do with the struggles that people are going through. A lot of times in the past I've written about a movement that really wasn't in existence, hoping that people could have a vision of that. And right now, there's movements jumping up all over the world, and more specifically, movements jumping up all around the United States, and movements that, while they have some reform demands, are very radical in nature and in the bent and way they're doing it. 2 years ago, any union person I met with told me that fast food was unworkable. They told me that, like, just practically it can't happen. And what they're seeing is that the population is radicalized, in large part due to what happened during the Occupy movement. What happened during the Occupy movement was simply everybody seeing that so many people agreed with them, because I think that the population of the U.S. has a lot of radical tendencies already, as far as in theory, but they didn't think anyone else did. Occupy movement showed them that they did. Fast food workers are very open to something that could work. The only problem is they wonder whether it can work. And so far it's working.